Good morning. Today is April 30th, 2019. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'd like to call this meeting of the Logan County Commissioners to order. Please rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Welcome everyone. I'd like to go on to item 3. Any citizen desiring to be heard? Yes, ma'am. Could you speak your name and please address the board. We're not allowed to interact with you as far as questions and answering, but you're certainly welcome to address the board.
My name is Britt Fields. I live at Seward in Pennsylvania. I wanted to thank for the recent shell that was added on Forest Hills. I'm still concerned, as my sister has a health condition, on the accuracy of Seward and Penn either way, as they are not passable in situations when it rains. So I'm just voicing a concern on that current area and hope for a better outcome in the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other citizens desiring to be heard? All right, hearing none. Moving on to item 4, consideration and possible action on approving minutes of April 15th, 2019. Go ahead.
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes for April 15th.
I will second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes without objection. Item 5. Consideration and possible action to receive bi-monthly report of David Ball, Emergency Management Director. So the first question, David, does bi-monthly mean twice a month or every 2 months?
I was coming every 2 months.
Okay.
Yes, and that's the way we've kind of always done it. So
You know it can be defined either way.
It could be either way. Yes, so
Okay.
we could do.
If it's twice a month, you're a little late, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Thanks, David. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's just kind of highlights from the last 2 months. So
What about the sirens? How were, I mean, they all up and running?
they all, yeah, on our weekly tests, on
Do we
our
need
county
more?
ones. I'm sorry.
Need more?
Well,
I mean, everybody's got
funds.
apps and
It
weather.
costs money to do
Radios.
that. It costs money to maintain them.
And that's kind of the direction we're going in too, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people have smartphones, but
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
it's hard to hear those sirens at 3 o'clock in the morning anyway, right?
yes.
When my smart aleck phone goes off at 3 o'clock in the morning,
Yep.
it's right there.
And those that don't have cell phones can get weather alerts.
Yeah, you can get
Right.
weather
Radios.
radios. There's lots of options out there.
But
Yeah.
with our ability now to be able to push those emergencies out to the
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in time, I personally think in time,
Mhm.
you won't see as many sirens because they're designed for people that are outdoors.
Right.
And like you said, when you're in your house, even at 7, 8 o'clock at night, you're in your house, your TV's on, your air conditioner's running, you just don't hear them unless you live underneath it. Then obviously
Right.
you would.
Yeah.
But when you're a little ways away,
Mhm.
you just won't hear it. It's so, that's where the weather radios and
I still have concerned citizens there that say if it will just save one life, you know how that works.
You're
Yeah.
probably looking, I would guess, $40,000 give or take
Per copy.
to put a siren in the ground today.
And they go how far?
About a
Mile?
mile.
What's the
About a
maintenance-
mile.
What's the maintenance tail on that here?
We pretty much every year we're spending right at $5,000.
Yeah.
Pretty much and that's just for basically batteries and just checking them. $5,000 a year. Yeah.
Yes.
If
For him, man.
Mhm.
6. And we may have to up that in my budget this year just because batteries cost more and things cost more.
Mhm.
So
just-
guess what we're gonna be talking about in 2 months.
The budget stuff is, yeah. And I know that budget is a concern, but we gotta be able to maintain and do it. And then if you get a lightning strike or something more severe happens to them, then it's just gonna cost more money to maintain the 6 that we have. Cedar Valley has theirs for it. I know Cedar Valley spent pretty good. I can't tell you exactly how much, but I know they've spent
So-
money on their side.
So the community, the municipality up there is taking care of those.
Therefore, they
right?
take care of their maintenance and stuff that's on them. And I know the guy was out there 2 weeks ago, I believe it was batteries on one of them. That was about $600 to $700 to replace the batteries on.
I move we approve the bi-monthly report by David Bone.
I second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? David, would you like to say anything else?
No, thank
Okay.
you.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes without objection. Thanks, David. Appreciate your work.
Thank you, David.
Item 6, consideration and possible action to approve amended SEFA reports for FY 16, 17, and 18.
If you remember, I mean, it was 2 meetings back, I brought the memo the auditors had wrote up for the corrections to the CFA report. We ran it through the board. They have brought back the actual reports that include those memo changes that they just wanted to go ahead and have it done this way. So this is fiscal year 16, 17, and 18 amended CFA reports.
Yeah, I looked those over on email.
So what did we amend?
Some of the disbursements, the CFA is very difficult to track because it rolls multiple fiscal years. David does a great job trying to stay up on it, but it's one of those tough things, the disbursements and the revenues across spanning fiscal years.
So you want all 3 of us to sign?
No,
it?
just the chairman signs.
You can sign for me for now. This has to be the money.
I'm the regulator, not chairman. I'll move we approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes without objection.
David, I do appreciate all your work on it.
Yeah.
And it is a challenge, but you do the best you can with what you got, and when they come to audit, they'll
I know it's tough.
find something.
It's a tough deal.
We're all in it
Thank you.
together.
Uh-oh. I guess I can read some of that. The bottom of the one here, there's not,
We'll make it work.
I figured you would, man.
They'll give you a finding for it.
I love those most likely. At least they got something to write about. All right, item 7, consideration and possible action to approve financial statements for FY 16, 17, and 18.
Okay, another gift from the state auditor's office in 16, and it was after they had been here in 16. They determined this new form that they wanted for the financial report for each fiscal year. So while they were here, they went in the 3 years that they've audited, fiscal year 16, 17, 18, they've created these forms based on Sherry's information in the treasurer's office to be approved. This is the form that will, from this point forward, at the end of every fiscal year, it'll probably be towards the end of July after balancing and all is done, will be submitted to the board as a financial statement. So this is just plain catch up for the auditors.
If I may, I really like the idea of a county financial statement. You and I have talked about that. It's one of the criticisms that I would have of the budget spreadsheet that we have for the county budget. Even though a lot of that stuff doesn't enter into the general fund calculation, we should still be looking at every nickel we got once a year.
Yeah. That's true.
I'll move we approve.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
That was an aye, Mike?
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes unanimously. And on to item 8, consideration of possible action to approve resolution accepting $451.50 donation from Lowell Supply Incorporated to District 2 for culvert to be placed in 10901 East Simpson Road.
Needed for a new driveway. And I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second. Any further discussion? Have a motion and a second for discussion? Monty, anything?
I'm good.
No? All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously.
Chairman, ask item 9, those Warren Cap financial leases be stricken today. Lowell has returned them with some changes that need to be made, so they're not ready to approve.
We all appreciate the efforts of Mr. Bartow, for sure, on that. All right, so we're gonna take, that's a no action on this? Okay. No action. Item 10, consideration of possible action to approve additional homestead exemption reimbursement claim.
The annual claim that we file with the state for return funds for the additional homestead exemption, we do generally get but a meager piece of this, but we don't stand to get anything if we don't file the claim.
This is, we use those.
So when does this normally do? I mean, is this behind or?
It has to be emailed back to the state today.
How much does that normally do, Dave?
I think last year we got $80 or something along that line.
$80 out of whatever, 20.
28,200, almost $28,300. That's, so, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna make a motion, go ahead though.
I was just curious about the number and, I mean, the significance of that. It doesn't sound like a lot of money as far as property tax.
No, the
structure.
breakdown's behind the claim there.
Oh, okay. I see. So these are for specific properties?
Those that get the additional home tax, homestead exemption, which is financial hardship.
Okay. All right.
I'll move that we approve.
I'll second. Have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 11, consideration of possible action to schedule and conduct public auction of county surplus equipment, furnishing, and other county items held. This is the garage sale that I was kind of wanting to talk about for the county. You know, we got lots of stuff, and we need to get more space than stuff. You know, space is more valuable to us than stuff. Okay.
So when are y'all looking at the hand?
Y'all?
You.
We guys, how about that?
How quick can you be ready?
Well, we need to get stuff hauled out and itemized, and I mean, the stuff in my yard, I can have it displaced this afternoon, right? So that's how quick I can do it. But we need probably,
Are you looking at having it at the fairgrounds?
we're just talking right now. I'm just looking for ideas. I mean, we had the last one that we had countywide, I think, at the fairgrounds.
I mean, if we're gonna do it at the fairgrounds, we're gonna have to get with them and see when we can use it.
Mhm.
At the fair.
It's not causing a problem in my yard, but we have an awful lot of sheriff vehicles and
Mhm.
district attorney vehicles that we have no clue who's what and where's whatever, so. But it's not causing an issue in our yard, so I don't know whether sheriff.
They will be sold. So Damon would, I mean, just from your standpoint, you're elected official too, you get at
Well,
least.
the issue I look at it, having it somewhere else is the cost to move all that equipment.
Right, and that's kind of what I wanted your input there. So you've got a lot of stuff over at District 2, Barn, yes ma'am, go ahead.
I think you can do a two-part thing. I think that the small stuff can be done at the fairgrounds, moved over there, set up, the table type stuff, and it held from this time to this time, and then have a break and move to location
Like
of
the
the vehicles.
kitchen mixer and some of that other stuff.
Yeah, for the vehicles and hold that auction, you know, say from 9 to noon and then from 2 to 4 for the vehicles out at District 2. I think you can split it up and move the auction instead of move the vehicles.
So that would kind of also imply that if Monty or I had some vehicles that we wanted to sell, we would move them over
Absolutely.
to District 2, so we don't get them all.
I have fire
Right.
departments that have approached me as to
Right.
probably having some stuff vehicular
Sure.
to put in it,
Sure.
so.
Uh,
Or maybe even do them separate, do the small stuff one weekend and do the vehicle another weekend, because we may end up with quite a few that you'd need the
Right.
longer time.
Right.
It'd probably be the best because you'd probably run over your time when you said he's gonna be at District 2 tomorrow.
Sure. So you think 2 separate days for the different auctions?
I do, 'cause that's basically being scrap iron out there, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
So,
One Saturday and then the following Saturday maybe?
I'm good with it.
Hey, as long as we get it done, you know, before, this fall, I'm good.
Yeah. But if we're planning on using the fairgrounds, I mean, we need to get with the fair board.
Right.
Schedule with them.
So when do we want to try to do that? Like July sometime, or after school's out?
Yeah.
It is hot then, right? Yeah.
Better than being cold.
No, it's not.
It is for me. I ain't being
I can
cold.
put clothes on, I just can't take them off.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Well, understanding with the fair board, I mean, Saturdays are, I think, are generally a better day for an auction. But Saturdays in spring and summer are also difficult to come by at the fairgrounds. So let me see what they have
So-
available and bring it back.
So like, maybe, late June? I was thinking about, if we ever get out of the rainy season, that's kind of when I'd like to start that.
Let me see what they have available. Of course, District 2, for the vehicle part, you could schedule any time.
Right, true.
So, you know, maybe can move forward to get ahead and figuring that one out. And what we're gonna do for an auctioneer and that kind of thing while we're trying to set up the small item stuff for the fair board.
I just thought Monty would fill in as auctioneer.
There you go. Well, I'm a talker. I can do it.
There you are.
Just not
Not there with a microphone, don't you?
And, yeah, we'll get a camera out there, he'll be running home.
I'm telling you. You'd be a
I will
celebrity.
shoot for the 22nd, 29th of June with the fair board and see what they have.
Okay.
And that same time period's okay with you, Mike, for
Oh,
your,
yeah.
for after your, okay.
You got no problems there. Then it'll probably be raining
Is that
with our luck.
Something that,
I'm good with it.
okay. So,
As long as we got time to get everything cleared surplus and get it on the list.
all right, you go. Yeah, so our surplus list needs, we're gonna do this June, what, probably by the 15th of June, we need to have our surplus list in? Or before?
Yeah, you can actually, it's a two-part form, so you can declare surplus and then dispose of 30 days after disposal, so,
30 days after declaration of surplus, is that what you're
of
saying?
disposal, for the disposal part. Declaring surplus is one part,
Mhm.
and then disposing is a second. part.
Within 30 days? Or
After the disposal.
You got 30 days to
I'm confused. Go ahead.
do your surplus, then you sell it, then you do a resolution saying you disposed of it.
Oh, so you get time to catch up on your.
Right.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, 30
Okay,
days.
that makes
I
sense.
wasn't following.
I was
either.
confused.
Yeah, I know it was two-part, I'm glad I learned that.
Yeah, me too. Why we keep Troy around, kinda.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. All right, so, item 11, back to that, consideration of possible action to schedule and conduct. So, we're gonna look at the time period of the 22nd to the 29th of June. And gonna have a auto auction, vehicle auction, District 2 yard, and the, I'm gonna call it the 6-story building auction, at the fairgrounds, right?
Yep. Is that a motion?
I suspect that would be, yes. I so move, we move on with that.
I'll second.
plan, right. Have a motion and a second, further discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 12, consideration of possible action to approve detention transportation claim in the amount of $520.11 for March 2019. The 11 cents, I mean, this.
I'll make a motion to approve the transportation claim.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Chairman, there are no items for 13 and 14.
Okay, item 15, consideration and possible action to approve the following permanent road crossing permit for Superior Pipeline, 8-inch gas line from Superior LLC across Rockwell, half a mile north of Waterloo Road, 2,625 feet south of the northeast corner of 3215 North and 4 West range. I will make a motion to approve this. It's kind of my area, I think.
Mike second.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't, okay.
Sorry.
Have a motion, no worries. Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes without objection. Item 16, consideration possible action on approving the following temporary road crossing permits for Select Energy Services. 4-inch water lines over at Simmons, 2 miles west of Council. Parallel Rockwell, 0.4 miles south of Simmons and Rockwell. Parallel Simmons, 0.2 miles east of Council and Simmons. And parallel Simmons, 0.3 miles east of Council and Simmons. Again, this looks like over at my place. I'll move we approve.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes without objection. Item 17, consideration and possible action on consent agenda.
Hey, back on the road crossings,
Yes, sir.
Louis has been following up with a lot of these companies. You know, we got our
Payroll.
rules and regulations in there.
Yes, sir.
And they have actually come back and added lots of rock. And so I would encourage y'all, if you haven't, you might look at that. They've been helping us out quite a bit on putting rock back on the road.
Who?
The old companies, you know. with
Oh, yeah.
those and the permits.
Got one that's being hammered.
So they all come back and filled their obligation, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, that's good. The ones I've talked to, I've kind of, you know, they ask for favors, and so we can't really do favors. We all just need to be good neighbors, and they're all good. They all seem to be good with that concept, so.
We have one road in Hiawassee that goes across the Cimarron River there in Payne County, and it's become quite an issue trying to maintain that with all the water disposal trucks that are going, using that piece of road. It's just a real pain. I wish they'd throw some money onto that, but they haven't.
You know, that's interesting, because Troy and I have been talking about the fundings that we get, and you know how our excise taxes sometimes don't cover all the activity we get, and you guys know that as well. We get absolutely nothing for disposal of.
I know.
There's
Yeah.
there's nothing there. I mean, it's not like we get a little funds to help take care of the roads when they pull oil and out of the ground, right? But we get nothing when they put poison back in the ground. Yeah.
I think that
I'll go ahead
particular
and say
road
that.
is a primo example of exactly what you're talking about. Now, I know you all have roads, there's no doubt in my mind, but that one right there gets heavy truck traffic on
You
it
got a road?
all the time.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't have any road in my district. We got some mud walls.
Fortunately, that bridge right there is in really good shape. Fortunately or unfortunately, whichever.
Troy, while we're busy wearing out our knuckles here, where are our state folks at these days? Are they done? Or?
They're done on site. They are working up the report. In fact, I had a conversation on the phone with them this morning. But unless something comes up, they just have to come back out before they're done on site.
Wait a minute. The sheriff actually gets a paycheck? I thought you did this for free because you
My
like
wife gets it.
Oh, yeah. I got one of those myself. Well, you actually paid Greg too. What's up with that? I thought he showed up just because he loved it here.
Well, we can't pay him what he's worth.
Well, that- yeah.
We're supposed to change that.
Damon, you got any idea how many reserve deputies you got on?
23,
23?
roughly. We're fixing to evaluate that again.
Hey, I
Are
just
you
wanted to,
interested? That's good.
you got time for a part-time job?
Well, that's the last thing I need, more donuts.
There's no such thing.
Too many donuts?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like sausage in your sausage gravy. It's just.
I did want to pay a compliment to your reserve deputies during that parade, the United Parade. They all, the ones that I ran into out there, they were all just very professional and helpful. They were all
Good.
real good folks.
Pass that on, I appreciate it.
Transfers.
Be hard to do it without them.
Volunteerism is one of the most important traits we can develop in a community like this.
Blank
Doesn't this look exciting? This is what we get to do. This is our meeting.
We're out an ink pen,
Or two.
just signing our names.
A good inning is about 6-8 seconds. His teacher's not there, so it doesn't make Monty, will you be putting the public auction on your website?
Sure will.
Thank you.
Oh, you know it.
Sheriff, can you just remove that guy?
I'll wait till Troy got back for the minutes.
So she could record that, make sure she got that response recorded? Yeah.
I believe that's $25 fine, by the way.
That's 5 days in jail.
Yeah, there's another sheriff.
Yeah, that's $5 fines is what that, he just, yeah,
For him, it's $1 a day.
$1 a day. Ooh. $2.50, I know a way you can get half your time off for helping out on the road crew.
Yep. Could be a good hand out there.
That's a heck of a lot of incentive, isn't it?
While there's a little lull, just so that the board knows that next week, we don't have a specific date. One day next week or a couple days next week, there's gonna be a film crew out here on the sidewalk of the annex up to the 6th story. They're gonna be filming after hours, 5 o'clock on the evening on, the gentleman came by the office the other day to touch base about it. I've talked to Damon about it. They're not gonna be during business hours. And he said it's really pretty much on the sidewalk. The background is to imply a hospital that these people are coming and going out of. So, just so y'all know, if you come around, that's what's going on.
You're gonna paint the entrance?
They're not coming up to the building. He said it's all on the sidewalk. The city wanted them to obtain written permission from everyone, because it's gonna be from downtown down, I guess, this filming, so. And they really wanted the sheriff's department to understand that they're killing zombies, so they're gonna have actors with pretend guns out here, so.
So what is the difference between the meth addict and the zombie?
I'll have to talk to you about that when you're on camera.
Yes, sir.
That'd be a great backdrop for a zombie, though.
There's hope for one of them? Is that what you, okay.
That needs signed, Mike. That needs signed. Oh, never mind, you did. I couldn't see it.
Thank you.
hilarious. I spend all my time trying to cover and take care of you three. No one does that for me.
Tracy.
Tracy, there you go.
Why do you think we appreciate you so much?
I can't believe she threw Tracy under the bus like that.
I was there for her defense.
Tracy does a great job with what I have Tracy doing.
That's it, you gotta have good people under you, and you gotta be on your toes.
Better than being on somebody else's toes.
Yeah.
So who'd they want written permission from?
They just had a sheet for people to just, it was literally it was a city, yeah, I talked to the people here, they're okay.
My thing is, we gotta have written permission to be on the sidewalk nowadays.
Well, I guess for any obstruction purposes, they wanted those that may be affected to acknowledge.
See, I was just wondering, is this really county property? Just,
Again, I think it was more the obstruction area issues.
Covering the bases.
sir?
Covering the bases.
Yes.
So I have the street all closed off and all that.
They're not closing the street.
Right.
This is the election
Well,
board claim
well-
goes to the chairman.
So if we want in the movie, we can just drive by.
Alcohol beverage. Yeah, he said they're not closing the street. I asked him about the parking spaces that we have designated here, if we needed to tell anyone, and he said no, so.
Would you tell Mike that she wasn't offering? But we,
That's a lot of liquor.
Want a copy of this again? You gonna come take pictures of it?
Got 2 signatures.
No?
Oh, he
I'll
only
take
wants
picture
it.
with you on there.
Huh?
With you or not?
So Guthrie come in at 11,400, Chris at 1,500, Mulhall 251, Coyle 380, 363 million.
how much for Cedar Valley?
Cedar Valley 322,
Woo-hoo.
Cimarron 167, Marshall 304, Mulhall 37, Meridian $42, Orlando 165.
Well, Langston, it's like it, 8 Crescent. Oh, well, yeah.
We got good water in Crescent, we don't have to drink that.
There you go.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
Oh, second.
I have a motion and a second to approve consent. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Item 18, consideration of possible action on approving claims for payment for April 2019.
Buying. Visual inspection.
Assessor's reval.
Thanks, sir.
Earthquake is 100.
Could be both.
Our emergency manager doesn't even blink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that.
Because he's got his
He
hand
knew
on
it
the
was
pulse.
coming.
Yeah, I just got alert saying,
All geared up, huh?
lightning detected,
Oh,
wait for the rumble.
it wasn't an explosion then. Okay.
Oh,
Good.
Not-
Please.
Why does he always go to extremes?
Well, because you guys are looking at your phones, thumbing, I'm thinking maybe it's.
Worst
an
case
earth-
scenario, put a helicopter in the air, and then it really gets.
Right.
Well, it's going right on top of us.
A Russian hip helicopter would not be good to see in the sky.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
She brought her umbrella.
What, you made it for me?
Maybe. Or you can use her underground tunnel.
How about that? How about my keys?
Okay,
Signatures.
Board of Prisoners.
Board as in room, food, ceiling.
Oh, well, it says requisitioning department, Board of Prisoners. I was thinking some state agency that we're,
Yeah,
Okay.
that formerly known as Sheriff's Revolving,
oh, the revolver fund.
the state made us change it.
You mean we don't have a board made up of prisoners? Oh my gosh.
No, I hate that.
Does kind of sound like.
But when they changed all the laws restructuring all of that, it became Board of Prisoners.
So
We got an inmate
you
union.
get to get used to new names.
I'll move that we're approving the paid claims.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second, further discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion passes without objection.
Chairman, there are no items for 19.
Nothing for 19. Item 20, any citizen desiring to be heard once more.
Yeah, I got a question.
Sure.
During the audit, they discovered, and I guess it's occurred a couple different times, where we've got a fuel tank on our inventory. We don't know what it is, where it goes, and I know at one point in time, years ago, they used to go to one of the districts and get fuel. So I'm wondering if that's the tank that they're referring to.
Tank still out there?
What, now, which tank?
As far as-
Many years ago, before fuel man cards, the sheriff's department had a fuel tank at District 2. Is that tank still out there?
Probably about.
I'm not
there.
aware of any
Okay.
tank, but you might want to.
Just do a resolution, dispose.
Okay.
I mean, we had an old water tanker, but I think Archie Cruz got that back when.
Okay, well, I just
I'm
didn't
not
know if
aware of
they knew
any
anything
tank
about
out
the
there.
fuel tank that's on our inventory that we don't know.
Did it say
anything
what
about.
size it was, Damon?
Was 500 gallon.
So I just wanted it off my inventory so they can quit gigging me on it. They'll find something else.
I understand.
Appreciate the board's time.
Anything else? All right. Item 21, comments, announcements, questions by the Board of County Commissioners. Mike?
I had something, come back to me, please.
Yes, sir. Mike?
I just got a phone call, they're gonna do some seismographing up in northwest Logan County, so they're gonna start shaking the ground again. That's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to inquire on the PSAP, and I know that AT&T has really been dragging their feet when it comes to getting you guys turned up, and I'm wondering if you've had any recent progress on that.
Yes, they are, all the equipment is in.
Yes.
They are now waiting on us. We've, are doing a new countertop for that side of our PSAP table. And so it's mainly, you know, that should be here hopefully this week or next.
Ah,
And then it's just a matter of getting everything installed, hooked up, and we're good to go. So now they're waiting on us.
good, good.
So that
'Cause
should
I know
be-
you're gonna be taking it ASAP.
Yeah, hopefully
So,
next 30 to 60 days, we should be up and running and good to go. That's
well,
kind of my-
this will really be enhanced because, you know, they can now triangulate to
Oh,
8
yeah.
feet
Yeah,
on that
awesome.
sucker. And I'm very much looking forward to that. It's
So are
really
we.
helping the people in
So are
our
we.
back area.
So to add to that, Mike, just to kind of add some clarification, the PSAP is the new E911 answering service that the sheriff's starting up, and so we'll be answering direct calls from the county for 911 service, or we'll be able to do that. Up until this point, they've been kind of restricted to a pencil, a pen, and a pad, and a telephone, and that's been the emergency service response that our county has had. But we're getting this new technology, and it's really going to help.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Mike.
And just to let you know too, On the Luther project, that 2 miles and the moving of pipes, those plans have now been approved, and we will shortly be sending out letters to proceed on moving the DCP pipelines out of our road mainly. They'll be left in place, but they'll be, they will be taken care of, and it's not going to delay our project there. Assuming that we get CIRB money coming into the county like what the legislature should be doing. I don't know if you saw that article in the Journal Record of Mike Morgan, I think it was, with the Commerce, what do you call it, the Chamber of Commerce, State Chamber of Commerce coming out and really pushing for CIRB funding to be restored. We're only 200 million in short for statewide, and I think that would really move a lot of our projects forward if we could just get the legislature to help us out. Anyway, that suffices what I wish to say.
Okay, thanks, Mike. We've been doing a little work on road miles for the county. Been trying to get a little more specific than what ODOT's requiring us, or what ODOT reports, or what we report to them, they report back to us. Right now, what we're getting is total road miles, and although that is kind of important, just to know that we've got 1,260 road miles approximately. That's nice.
Gee.
Yeah, that was 15 miles away, wasn't it?
Exactly. Anyway, what type of roads is as important as knowing how many miles we have.
Correct.
The maintenance tail associated with a mile of gravel road or dirt road is, if you keep up with the ditches and the mowing and the gravel and the base repairs and the grading and all that stuff, that works out. The industry says it costs somewhere around $9,000 to $10,000 a mile to maintain a gravel road. The industry also says that it costs anywhere from $35,000 to $40,000 a year to maintain a paved road or an asphalt road. So, you know, if we have just 300 miles of paved road, and I think we've got probably more than that, about 12. But let's just say that just running those numbers, every year, with all the funds that we get for roads, that's our county road fund, the SERB funds, the CBRI funds, all the money that we can amass as a county, as a board of commissioners for using our roads, we're still about $20 million a year short of what it would take to maintain all the roads we're doing. So at some point now, we have to prioritize, you know, the funds we get. We're all aware of that. But the road mileage, just to report back and say, well, you've got that means that they're not really looking at what we need to maintain as far as the funds we're given. Just like so many other government programs, they start with, well, we'll give you a quarter of a cent, or we'll give you a half cent, or whatever, without knowing what that will generate, you know, or with just some idea of what it will generate, but without understanding what the real cost associated with providing that service is. So if we're going to fund our roads at 100% of what it costs us to maintain them, then we need to be able to establish that delta, right? We need to understand what the difference is between what we have, what we've been given to maintain what we have, and the difference between the two. And it's not an excuse, it's just realistic, it's just life, it's just the way it is. Governments always have way more assets to take care of than they pay for over time for maintenance. And I'll get off that soapbox. Ma'am, would you like, anything you'd like to comment on?
No, other than I
Anything
would
you
point
got
out 1,260 miles, over 200 bridges.
Yes.
That is also maintained out of that same funding.
Right, and 100 of those considered efficient.
And yeah.
And
And that's only the 20-foot structures. Anything
Right.
under 20 is technically not a bridge.
And so, Molly, I know you probably know more about bridges than, I know you know more about bridges than I do, But, you know, the average cost, what would it, you know, take? I've been trying to find something in the industry about bridges and maintenance, and they're just all over the place on that, you know, as far as what it takes to maintain a bridge, right?
Yeah, I don't know how you could ever put a cost to maintenance on a bridge. How many times is it gonna get hit? I mean, how many times you gotta put guardrails on it?
Right.
What kind of deck does it have? I can tell you, we got one right now, we're spending probably about 12,000 putting a new deck on it, 75-foot bridge. It's expensive.
Right. And so over time, how long did that last, or, you know?
Well, that bridge has probably been there since
Statehood.
1940s, you know. It's probably what it was.
So when we put a wooden top on a bridge, do we expect it to last 10 years or 20
Well,
years?
back in the day, you'd probably get 20 years out of a bridge deck,
Right.
but today, I mean, traffic's heavier,
Right.
lumber's sorrier.
That's fact.
Treatments are worse, yeah.
It's different
Yeah.
ballgame.
So those wood decks, if I can, I'm trying to replace those with big tin horns.
Sure.
And so far, I've been able to get quite a few of them done that way, and that takes that maintenance of that wood off of there, and that
Right.
wood is very
But,
expensive.
but that's kind of what Troy was talking about, the
Mhm.
smaller bridges that we've got to replace over time, you know, those aren't counted in our bridge report, but it's
Right.
still an expense that we're, you know, that we've got to.
Mhm. But I am looking
consider.
at concrete and a few decks that would hold it and would boost the rating on it.
Okay.
When we're able to. Is that what you're doing, Monty, is you're just replacing the wood deck? Or?
Yeah, we took the wood deck off and the concrete deck on.
I see.
But I can tell you, I think it was 3 years ago, I built a bridge over here on Midwest, or, not Midwest. Anyway, I built a 60-foot bridge, I got $73,000 in it, my crew did it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
ODOT's gonna build a bridge for me up there north of Crescent, it's less than 60 foot and it's 1.2 million to build it.
Mm-hmm. Not one.
I guess my point is, if ODOT would give us the funds, I could probably build 6 bridges for what they build one.
Yeah.
That's about the same ratio on roads too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We can build 6 miles of road for what they charge for one.
And that's why we need that CIRB money coming directly to the county so that we can then use it as we know best and get a sufficient bridge that will meet ODOT certification for 1/10 of the price.
I don't make the laws, though, it's gotta fall.
Right, right. Well, so many of these legislators live in the
You gotta follow
cities
laws?
and they don't understand
Is
it.
that a rule?
Yes.
Item 22.
All right, I'll move with adjourn.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.